We had a little technical difficulties, but they are resolved at this point. And I just want to say hello. Oh, look at all these little thumbs uppies and hearts and things. T-Web, Bond, hello. Christopher Robin Watson, Chance Hooper, hello. Jacob Kendall, hello. Mary Escalin, hi there. Israel Castro, hi. 50 comments so far. I haven't seen 50 comments, but that's okay. 100 people have liked this video so far. Will there be Harley Quinn? I do not know if there will be Harley Quinn. I can't imagine that there eventually wouldn't be Harley Quinn. You know, you guys, the whole thing is that these characters, you know, as you well know, need to be played out over a certain amount of time. And if the show continues to be successful, then they got to save some people for later. And I imagine Harley Quinn is one of those people. I haven't heard specifically. Hi, Bridget. I haven't heard specifically about Harley Quinn and whether she's coming. What is your next project? I have a movie coming out in August called The Space Between Us with Carla Gugino and Gary Oldman that I really enjoyed shooting in Santa Fe, no, in Albuquerque last summer. I saw the trailer the other day. The trailer is coming out soon, and I think it's really going to be a very nice movie. It has, oh shoot, put me on the spot, the people that are in this movie. Shoot, 500 comments so far. You mean I don't get to see all the comments? I love you too, Jasmine Cologne Broster. I speak Spanish. Why would somebody say I spoke Spanish? I don't really speak Spanish. Did I say something that was inadvertently Spanish? Autumn Thar, thank you for Gotham. You're welcome for Gotham. It's not really my thing to be thanked for, but you're welcome. It's 12 a.m. here in London. Who's your favorite supervillain and hero? Oh, golly. My favorite supervillain and hero, golly, I don't really know who my favorite superhero is. I really was into Batman when I grew up. So I really was into Batman, and then I was also into like Egghead and like King Tut and stuff, but those were from like the Batman TV show. Hello, Mr. Hugo Strange, Professor Strange, if you will. Would you consider being Hugo in the silver screen? Yes, but it's never gonna happen. Would I consider being Hugo on the silver screen? Of course I would, but that's never gonna happen. Let's just not get our hopes up about something like that. That's not gonna happen. You're a great actor. Thank you very much. Why did you leave Law and Order SVU? That's such a weird question. I was on Law and Order SVU for 11 years. And Law and Order SVU really just wasn't that interesting to me. I know that you guys love it, and I'm really glad that you guys love it, and you're such great fans, and it's such a great show, and all that, but it was always the same for me every single time. Unlike Gotham, which is never the same, and always interesting, and always complicated, and always complex, and often about me, which is important. Actually, when you're an actor, it's got to be about you sometimes, right? Sometimes, if it's not about you, then it becomes kind of like you're feeling like you're serving another purpose that isn't as interesting to you. So that's really great for me. I love your portrayal of the character. Thank you very much. How long did it take you for to grow your hair back? Oh, no, it is a bald cap. Somebody asked, is it a bald cap? Actually, this is the trivia. It was a bald cap for the last 7 episodes of my arc. The first 2 or 3 episodes of my 9-character arc, that was my head that got shaved. And I didn't, well, I wanted to actually be able to keep working on Mr. Robot and other things, and so I arranged to have this. Production was so great, they let me have this fancy makeup artist and this bald cap person so that I could keep my hair. And so my hair grew back within the time that we shot those last 7 episodes. So it takes, I don't know, this was like, it got cut like around Thanksgiving or something like that. It got shaved all off at Thanksgiving. I think that was right about. It's the highlight of my life. Wow. Chris Ortega. Wow. 750 comments so far, but let's see if I'm going to click on this thing that says 750 comments, what happens? Whew, nothing. I don't know if I can do that. Love you on Law and Order, and now get to enjoy you on Gotham. Thank you. You're awesome. Good work. Thank you. How are you? I'm great. You're awesome. Hi. Thank you. I'm being a little hyper right now, but I don't want to. Oh, love the drawing. Yes. Have you seen Batman versus Superman? I haven't. I haven't seen it yet either. Loved you on X-Files. Thank you. I enjoyed making that X-Files. That was a really fun time because my brother was such a X-Files fan. That's my computer going to sleep. My brother was such a big X-Files fan, and then he came with me to Vancouver to shoot it, and he got to be an extra in it, so that was really fun. This is a bit strange, haha. Great actor, love to hate him. Ha, great. I fully support that. How do you prepare yourself before every episode? No rituals. The preparation has a lot to do with the makeup and hair, which takes 3 hours, 2.5 hours on a good day to put the bald cap on, paint the bald cap, a whole bunch of like different colors, like layers of different colors, put on the beard and put on the appearance of whatever you call that. That's on my head, like stubble on my head, and so that takes like it takes about 2.5 hours. And so between that and getting dressed in these great clothes, that preparation becomes very natural. Like there's a natural period of time in which you're just forced to do nothing and think about what you're about to do, and that makes sense. So that's the time in which the lines get really nailed down, and then I spend a lot of time pacing around before takes and in between takes to try to remember what I'm supposed to say and all of that stuff, and trying not to eat the free food that's lying around all the time. What's up with all the angry faces? I don't know what to say about that. 1,000 people have liked this video so far. Wow, that's awesome. Was doubtful of you as Hugo, but was wrong. You've done an amazing job with the character. Thank you. Yeah. There was a lot of that. I hate to say there was a lot of people doubtful, but what can I say? I don't care. That's what happens, right? That's what happens in this world when you push the envelope of a lot of things, including challenge people's preconceptions about race. That becomes the thing that people get very skeptical about. But then if you can kind of transcend that, then you can create some kind of new sensibility, which is great. You and Miss Peabody have the best glasses. Me and Ms. Peabody actually, have great props and glasses. We have great props and prop department at Gotham, and they do a great job with all of that stuff. And the glasses, when they came, I thought were just perfect, and I was so happy to find. Okay, well, I think that I just got dumped on my own Q&A. I think I just completely got, I'm just going to not talk for a minute until I see hearts. I'm just not going to talk. Live, 49 viewers. Everyone got dumped. Everyone's got to try to come back. 95 viewers, 158 viewers. I think you were the greatest villain for the series because of your capability to actually have the control of the other villains. That's powerful. That's right. I mean, this is a good concept, I think, about having a actual villain type person who is kind of like a clearinghouse or a ringleader or whatever for all the other villains, and that has worked out really well for me, and it's really interesting, and I think it's really fun how it plays out in the season finale. I have no news on the Jurassic World sequel. You know that there is going to be a Jurassic World sequel. You know that there is a director signed up for the Jurassic World sequel. I believe you know that Chris Pratt and Bryce are signed for the Jurassic World sequel. I have no news about whether my character is going to be in the Jurassic World sequel. Is it true Fish is coming back? Yes, Fish is coming back in about an hour and a half, actually. And that was a really great thing for me, just so that you know, because I had worked with Jada's husband in this movie Focus, and I really loved him very, very much. And then I was kind of excited to work with her, and she was lovely and wonderful. She wasn't at all what I expected her to be, actually. She's very quiet and lovely. Very quiet and lovely and incredibly beautiful. What Gotham character would you like to transform next? Oh. Well, I would transform somebody who's possibly dead, right? So I mean, everybody wants me to transform Jerome, who I don't have a real personal connection to because I wasn't around when Jerome was there and expired. So I'd have to think about that a little bit. You know, it would be kind of fun to regenerate Gallivant again. And like I always have this fantasy of like scotch taping all those little bits and pieces that were like blown apart by Butch Gilzine into like with duct tape and stuff. Anyway, what's up? I think you're awesome. I don't know. What's up with you? Have you seen Hamilton yet? No, I have not seen Hamilton yet. Why were you paused? I was paused because the signal went dropped out. So I'm sorry if that happens again. If the signal drops out, just sit there and wait, and I will come back on, and I'll just, do it. We can do this for like another half hour if we want. I'll do it as long as you guys want before the broadcast starts. 1,000 people are watching. No, actually, it's 3,300 people are watching. That's incredible. Are you bringing Joker back? Well, first of all, was he really Joker? Let's talk about that. You know what's so interesting about the origin story and the fact that Gotham is supposed to be the origin story of all of these characters, and what does that really mean? Because I think people are not 100% clear that Jerome isn't really the Joker, or at least isn't really the Joker yet. Some people even thought that Laura Petty was the Joker, which I don't think she was. And then the other thing is that, of course, there's this reference to the Mad Hatter. And the Mad Hatter isn't the Joker either, right? So people enjoy the show, and everyone enjoys it on different levels of commitment to the original comic characters and where they came from and all of that stuff. And the people that are most intensely opinionated about what should happen or shouldn't have happened or whatever are the people that are really married to all of the original DC stuff. And that's totally fair and great. But there are also a lot of people who just watch the drama and enjoy the characters for what they are, as the creators of the show present them. And I think that's valid too. This isn't a version of Hugo Strange that has been in other things and bears a resemblance to other things, but then certain parts of the character are different. And I mean, I don't even really remember. Somebody can tell me if they want. Has already been. If somebody has told me, I don't even remember if Hugo Strange has anything to do with the philosopher, right? Was Hugo Strange the person who was described as the philosopher? I don't know. But stuff like that happens, right, on Gotham. That's a real Gotham thing, for things to be melded. And, I'm pretty sure Theo Gallivant was never, there's no relationship to, what's his name? Azrael. And I don't even know if there even was Theo Gallivant in Batman. See, I don't even know. Some people do, though, and they're really into it. And other people don't. So that's interesting. I have to say you were such a great actor and a class act all around. Wow. Ali. Love watching you in Gotham. They couldn't have chosen a better person to portray Hugo Strange. Cheers from Calgary, Canada. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. My favorite Gotham episode is either the last episode, which is the season finale, the last episode of season 2, or the fourth to the last episode, the one that in which Jim comes to grill me about what happened to Theo Gallivant. I like those two. I like this. I really like the scene with Jim, with Ben in the office. That was a few weeks ago. I really like that. You rock. Thank you. When will the Joker come back? I have no idea when. If you guys are in tune with the rhythm of Gotham and the PR of Gotham and all that stuff, we'll tell you that something's going to happen. We won't probably tell you when it's going to happen until like the day of. Like today, I can safely say, yes, Fish is coming back. You'll see Fish. You'll see Fish in a few minutes. But they're not going to tell you that Joker. They'll say, oh well, we love that character and we have plans for that character, but they won't be very specific. Partly because they don't know themselves sometimes. They're working it all out. Right now, I think they're all locked in a room working out season 3. That's my impression. And figuring out how that's actually going to be orchestrated, even though I'm sure they have a general idea. I think they're probably processing and kind of putting things together. So we don't really tell you when something like that's going to happen. When will the Joker come back? That I cannot tell you. I don't think I can even. Well, you can tell by my answering this question that he's probably not coming back by the end of the season. But maybe I'm lying. You make the comic book character come alive. That's very nice of you to say. Actors are, you know, it's a very interesting job to have, to be an actor and then to be playing a part that lived in another medium, and to try to figure out how to make that person a human being, or to look like a human being and talk like a human being. It's easy for them to exist in images in our mind when they're comic strip panels, comic book panels. But when you start trying to make it walk and talk, it's sometimes very tricky. So I really appreciate you saying that. Is Fish coming back? Yes, Fish is coming back. I'm not going to repeat answer anymore, though. Who else would you like to play? Oh, I don't know. I'd like to play. I'd like to keep playing people that are important to the story, that are complex and interesting people, that are also somewhat funny. Like, Hugo Strange is kind of creepy or whatever as he is. He does have a sense of humor that is always makes it fun to actually do, and that's why I enjoy working with Tanya so much, who plays Miss Peabody, because we have a good time. We have fun doing it, and that's really fun. You are my kid's favorite villain. Well, that's nice. Are you and Steve Martin friends still? No, well, no, I wouldn't say that. I think that we're not friends. He was like super, super great to me, and he's a very classy, very, very classy, and very, very generous person. And if I were to run into him again, or when I do run into him again, and as I have infrequently over the years, he's very warm and very nice and all of that stuff. But I wouldn't say we were friends. I asked if you have improvised any scenes in Gotham or if it is all scripted. Thank you. Jade Louise Evers, thank you for your question. For the most part, it is all scripted. There are times when you improvise things that come about, and either they decide to keep them in, or they don't like it when you do, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Like, off the top of my head, I believe I said, "That's my girl." That wasn't in the script. I just came out of my mouth at the time, "That's my girl," and then I did it in a few more takes, and then they used it. So that happens a lot. I've said a few things like "That's my girl" here and there, and that those things get kind of kept in the script sometimes. And all actors are different. I imagine that a lot of the stuff that Corey does is, some of it is like kind of off the cuff, or a variation of what was written in the script that he makes comfortable for himself. You could ask him that specifically. But I think that some of the actors do that, and then other actors are really much more strict about how they stay to the script. You have to get whatever you're saying off the script approved. In other words, if you wanted to plan to say something differently, you should go to the writer and the writers or the producers and say, "Look, I would like to say this instead of this. Is that okay?" And they'll tell you either why you can't change it, or they'll let you change it. In the case of "That's My Girl," I just said "That's my girl" in it, and it came out and they liked it. So the approval was them using it in the script, using it in the edit. You play Hugo Strange perfectly. Was anyone your inspiration for the role? I don't think there was anyone who was my inspiration for the role. I'm not sure. I feel like this is a really extreme close-up that I think now needs to be relaxed a little bit. I don't think that I have any inspiration. You know what happens at this point in my life and in my career? What I'm doing now is I'm trying really hard. I always have done this, but it was easier decades ago than it is now. I try to do something that I've never done before. So that means I try to talk in a voice that I haven't spoken in yet, or speak in a dialect that I haven't spoken in yet, or move in a way that I haven't moved in a way yet. And that gets really hard after you've like worked, and then you have to start kind of really revisiting different combinations of things, right? So Hugo Strange was somebody that I wanted to make sure people didn't get confused with other characters that I'd played. Not that they would, but just let him set him apart. He has a really distinctive look, and the clothing and all that stuff that was so great that all the collaborative artists contributed to the way that he turned out. And one of the things, the part that I did was try to make him different from other characters that I play, and so that's been really fun for me. And if you go back and rewatch like DVDs and stuff, you'll see that it took like 2 or 3 episodes to kind of kick in. By the 3rd episode, it started to kick in more, and then there was that break where I wasn't in 2 episodes, where he wasn't in 2 episodes. He or I were not in 2 episodes. And then when I came back, I was like kind of more in the pocket of the way he spoke and the way he acted and the way he carried himself. So that's something that in television often happens. In a movie, you'll often have more time to rehearse something or time to work with the director before you actually commit to burning it onto film. But in a TV show, things are done briskly enough for you to, for actors who are playing parts that are new to a show, to for it to take a while for the actor to settle in. This has happened to me a bunch of times, and I've also seen it on other shows. Like it took several episodes on SVU for me to figure out what that character was, and I actually started out in a place that I thought was where it was going to go, and then we changed it, and I didn't wear glasses anymore, and I spoke without a like a British accent and stuff like that. Oh, I had a British accent, and then I went in and I redubbed the whole first episode of SVU because we decided we didn't want him to speak that way. They just wanted him to be like me. So anyway, I loved your role in Mr. Robot. Thank you for bringing that up. And you adapt an amazing Hugo Strange. Do you play a bigger role in season 2 of Mr. Robot? Well, everyone who works on Mr. Robot signs this NDA contract that says you're not allowed to talk about it unless you get permission from the production or from the show to talk about it. And so the situation is that there are all very, very basic things that I'm allowed to say. Whatchamacallit? What was it? Oh, Sam Esmail, the creator of the show, says that I can. Well, he has said himself that that White Rose will be a character in season 2, and that he most appreciates White Rose in small doses, which I agree with, and so I can say that much. So she comes back in season 2, but she's not necessarily in every single episode. But it is more than she was in season 1. In season 1, she was only in 2 episodes, and there's more than that. That's all I can say. Which character would you look forward to experiment with in Indian Hill? You know, I'm very cynical because I'm playing Hugo Strange, right? And the part of me that plays Hugo Strange wants to boil all the children in the show. I'm sorry. David Mazouz and Cameron are fantastic. I'm not talking about the actors. I'm talking about the characters that they play. They're fantastic, and their mothers are fantastic, and I love them very much. I really have gotten along with them very well. I loved working with them both. But I think Hugo Strange would really love to get a big cauldron and boil those children. And perhaps we'll see that someday, or him try, or something like that. I don't even really know if I'm coming back in season 3. So you can write letters if you really want me to be in season 3. Do you know when we'll meet the Joker? What's next for Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange will be a Marvel movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm Professor Strange. Will you bring back Jerome? Do you think David Mazouz could play the Bat in the future? Absolutely. This has to correspond with David's physical maturity and the coincidence of, or the coinciding of David growing into the part, right? I think that's my logical sense that Batman isn't Batman until he's a certain age. But even already you've seen, right, how when you look in the flashbacks, how little and small he looked, and how handsome he's grown, and how more mature he is, and how that continues to grow, and he's even gotten more of a sense of humor now, and he's growing in all ways. David himself is growing, and the character is growing. So who knows what will happen, and who knows if the show's lucky enough to continue, what's in store for that character, and how that thing. If you've figured this out, right, as an origin story, if Gotham is Gotham and is an origin story, it's kind of over once the origin story is over, in some ways. So you kind of want to stretch out the time period in which David actually becomes Batman, because then it's not Gotham anymore, it's Batman. Um, so that'll be interesting to see how that happens. I'm not a writer on the show. I don't know. Don't have an opinion of it, but whatever. Anyone else getting cured? Interesting use of the word cured. Let me see. Now I even talk like him sometimes, right? Hugo Strange. It's like you can actually talk like him sometimes. Anyone else getting cured? Well, there's only two episodes left in the in the in the season. There's only two episodes left. You saw that there was that I forgot what she's called. Remember when Cameron saw the freaky croc face guy in the hallway? That was a person that kind of you got a little bit of there, and there are two more people that are officially reanimated before the season is up, and two of them are both coming back tonight. Let's see, in the season finale, I don't think anyone gets newly reanimated, but you'll see. I mean, it's like going to be here before you know it, and it'll be over, and you'll be all sad. What is your favorite creation of a villain that Doctor Strange created in Arkham Asylum? I think I answered that. How many more Batman characters are we going to see in the series? That I can't answer. I can't answer anything that's about like writers and producers and stuff like that, and until we get to that point where we're doing those like sit down interviews with the press, pre-press for the season as the season rolls out. That's when you start hearing about those things. Right now, no, I don't think anybody knows that. Does Dr. Huang experience help you to play? Doesn't finish the question. To play Hugo Strange. I've always played people who are listeners. They're people that listen to people. I mean, Hugo Strange is not so